Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and welcome to our very first episode ever of Football IQ. And now it's time to talk some football. So let's get fired up. Thank you all for joining me. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to help us grow and help us reach more fans just like you. And while you're here, please go ahead and hit that like button just as hard as you can. So, have you ever been sitting at your computer watching NFL content or maybe listening to talk radio and thought to yourself, like, man, I wish I could come up with some takes like that? Have you ever just wanted to expand your knowledge of the game? Well, then you've come to the right place. Football IQ is a series that focuses on helping all NFL fans, regardless of who your favorite team might be, improve their knowledge of the sport. From different terminologies to offensive and defensive formations to route concepts and blocking schemes, we're going to cover it all. So let's go ahead and dive right in. As a New York Jets fan, I have heard a lot about how the team intends to heavily use 11 and 12 personnel this season. Last night, I was talking with some friends about that, and somebody sitting at the table asked me, like, what does that even mean? And I thought about it, and I've wanted to make a series of videos like this for a very long time. And as I sat there explaining it, I decided that today was the day I was going to put those plans into action. So for our very first episode, I'm going to explain what 11, 12, and 13 personnel are, their purpose, and how teams utilize them. So first of all, we're going to start out with 11 personnel, which is the most common and widely used of the three philosophies. All teams use this. This would be your standard offensive formation that you see most of the time. Now, before I get into each one, let me first, kind of explain how to differentiate between the three. I'm going to tell you what they mean, how they differ. Okay. The number, be it 11 or 12, tells you the personnel grouping that's on the field. The first number, and just for this example, I'm going to use 12 personnel. The first number indicates how many running backs are in the formation, which would be 1. The second number indicates how many tight ends are in the formation. In this case would be 2 in 12 personnel. And so you've got 1 running back, 2 tight ends. You can figure out the number of wide receivers in the formation by adding those 2 numbers together and subtracting from 5. So, because you have 5 offensive skill position players on the field at a time, aside from the quarterback. So, getting right back into it, 11 personnel, which is the most widely used, as I stated. You have 1 running back in the backfield, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers. This is what you would refer to as a balanced approach. Can be utilized in either the run or the pass game. And it kind of allows some flexibility for the offensive coordinator as far as his play calling. This is probably the formation that you're going to see most often when you're watching the games on Sunday. Now, 12 personnel is, again, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and 2 wide receivers on the field at a time. This is a little bit different. You can you see this a lot in teams that run like a power scheme, or they have a zone blocking scheme in their run game. Um, Two tight ends, you can have extra blocker, or you can stretch the field vertically. Especially if you got a tight end that's fast, that's a good pass catcher, you can really use that to your advantage. Um, you can use 12 personnel under center. You can use it out of the shotgun. Um, you can do a number of things with it. Uh, as far as like how to counter it, it puts a lot of stress on the opposing defense. Um, Two tight ends means more running lanes. They're either going to have to bring an extra safety down into the box. Load up with extra linebackers in order to stop the run game. Um, and if you decide to use your tight ends as pass catchers, well, then the defense all of a sudden has to kind of adjust their coverage on the fly. So it can cause a number of problems for opposing defenses. Um, you can use a lot of misdirection when you're running 12 personnel. You can run draw plays. You can run play action out of it. You can run counters. Like there's a number of things that you can do. And I'm starting to see more and more 12 personnel used across the league. Um, Again, it's used in kind of a balanced attack. But it's a versatile formation that allows the offense a lot of flexibility and puts a lot of stress on the defense. So, especially like I said, if you got tight ends that are good pass catchers, then it really stresses the defense because all of a sudden you've got multiple options that you can go to. The last one that I want to get to is 13 personnel. Uh, Again, this is one running back and three tight ends with only one receiver on the field at a time. Um, I like this formation. Running back is in the backfield behind the quarterback. You got one receiver, usually lined up to the weak side, and you got your three tight ends. You can line them up in a number of ways. You can either, spread them out and to account for more gaps, or you can bunch them all together and overload one side of the line and overload the defense as well. When you've got tight ends that are 6 foot plus and 250 pounds and are really good blockers, but they can catch the ball too, that causes a lot of problems for the defense. The thing that works well in this situation is, like I said before, you get more running lanes when you got three tight ends, and you don't see this formation as much because it's very rare that teams have three tight ends that are not only good blockers, but good pass catchers. Teams that do have that are in a very fortunate situation. Um, but again, you can bunch those tight ends together, overload one side of the defense, and then defenses have to kind of pick their poison as far as how they want to stop that. Are they going to load the box? Are they going to bring in more linebackers, extra linebackers in order to try to stop the run? Or are they going to have, lighter defensive backs to try to cover the receiver? I mean, neither one is perfect. It's all advantage offense in this situation. And 99% of the time, if you're lined up in 13 personnel, the defense is going to assume a run is coming, which opens things up for play action. And there are a lot of teams. You can look at the McVays and the Shanahans who pass out of 13 personnel, and they do it pretty efficiently. So you can also throw from that formation as well. Even though primarily it's a run-heavy formation, you can throw out of it, especially if you have the players to do so. Defenses, if they want to bring in extra linebackers, if they want to stack the box to try to stop the run, then all of a sudden you've got your receiver that's left one-on-one in man coverage. And, if you've got a top tier receiver, again, advantage offense. If they go the other route, with DBs as opposed to linebackers, that's better pass coverage, but that's going to open up more running lanes. So it's kind of, like I said, pick your poison. And play action works really well out of this. Like I said, anytime people see a team lined up in 13 formation, they're probably going to assume that it's a run coming. And so play action works well out of that. Your screen game can work well out of that. There's a number of things you can do. Now, ordinarily, the time that you would usually see 13 personnel is, say, on the goal line. However, nowadays, you see it in other short yardage situations. It can also be utilized in situations where a team is trying to control the clock. So there are a number of ways that this can be utilized, but all in all, that's how 13 personnel breaks down. I hope that you guys have both enjoyed this and found it informative. There's going to be a lot more of these to come. I also have some guests that are going to be joining me to help go over some of these concepts, different formations, different blocking schemes. But the idea is just to, share the wealth and share the knowledge. Fans that are either wanting to improve their knowledge, or maybe new fans that are just wanting to learn more about the game. These videos are for you. Thank you to everybody for joining me. I appreciate all of you being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Again, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe now to Ricky New York Live, the Jets show that rocks.
And with that being said, I hope each and every one of you have a terrific weekend. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.